when I get new clients through those different venues and new investors, I try to sit down with them and explain what the process is to set their expectations. I let them know because I'm an investor and I currently have 2 vacancies, which is, upsetting, but it's just part of it. And it's not because I had to evict anyone, which is good. It's 2 newer units that I bought that needed some rehab. We got the rehab completed and now we're working on getting tenants into them. So, but I'm making mortgage payments each month with no rent coming in. And that's what I tell them. Make sure you have a cushion because you need to make sure if a tenant doesn't pay or heaven forbid, knock on wood, I've been very fortunate. None of my tenants have trashed my units before they've moved out. It's been very minimal, clean and clean the carpet maybe is what I've had to do the 2 times I've had people move out. And so I've been very fortunate because we do collections. I see the pictures of the nightmare stories of the tenants who destroy the lease premises before they leave. And then I've got my mom and pop landlord calling me going, what am I going to do? I don't have the money to fix this. And
thousands and thousands of dollars of damage.
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons you didn't jump right into real estate? Because you see all these horror stories and you're evicting people left to right and then make you a little hesitant to become a landlord yourself?
Yeah, it took me a long time. I've only been a landlord for about 5 years. And it was a big decision. I was, because I've seen all your horror stories. I've seen all the nightmares. I've seen the pictures. I'm going to eviction court. And I'm just like, okay, I don't want to be in this position. But luckily, I've also saved up my money. And before I made the leap, I was like, okay, I have a cushion. I've got a plan in case something goes wrong. And that's what I advise them is you need to have a cushion. You need to have a plan. And I think that's why a lot of the younger investors I'm working with are starting with flips. And they're trying to do a few flips to build up some money to get that cushion. But I've got one I'm working with right now, but he bought it as a flip. And when he got in and started rehabbing it, several things went wrong during the rehab. And his rehab costs are about 3 times what he thought it was going to be initially. And so we sat down and went through the numbers, and he's now going to keep it as a rental because he is either that or he's going to lose money on it. And so if he keeps it for a rental, we figure after about 5 years, he'll recoup that loss and be able to decide, okay, do we want to keep it as a rental and I think this is his 4th flip that he was doing. His first 3 went really smooth. And this one it was unforeseen. So,
I mean, I'm with you here when it comes to the hesitation. So as a real estate agent, some of my early business was going and selling properties that were turned and one bad tenant took them out of the business. They were like, you know what? I don't ever want to experience this again. We have to completely gut the house, practically rebuild a home. And they're just at Milton, why don't you go ahead and just put it on the market, sell it, and be done with it. I had one situation where one of the kids was selling drugs in the street, and it was the tenant's son. They followed the tenant's son into the house, shot and killed him, and that was it. So the tenant didn't want to live there anymore, understandably so. And the owners didn't want to rent it out anymore. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So we had to disclose the stigma, even though in Kentucky you do not have to disclose the stigma.
Right.
However, we took it, we wanted to be wise about it, so we did disclose. But that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Was this one of my properties?
No.
Okay. I think I got one similar to that. I think
Right.
I saw that one too.
Oh, yeah.
They followed the guy home. They the son had an argument. They shot him on the porch and got the dog too. And then they moved out. The owner didn't want to rent it, and nobody wanted to be there. And I didn't know that this actually happened until right before we're closing on it, because there was not bullet holes in it when we did the initial inspection. And we were told the tenant wasn't ready. It was just a nightmare. We turned out to be okay house, keeping the bundle. But for the flip houses, that's
Oh, yeah, of course. Are you ready to flip your first house or your 5th or your 10th? You can create energy, engage talent, and own the results. You visit flipsavvycourse.com to register now and start building your path to real estate wealth.
I've got an idea. We were joking before we got started here that we're not the most, technology savvy on this side of the table. the guys that push the button or
And shout out to the bespoke marketing team.
yes.
For using our podcast. I mean, it's really cool. They got the lights, they got everything going. And we're the talkies. You said talkies, not techie.
That's right. That's right.
It's super cool to just be able to have that. So
And I was thinking that we may lean on their expertise as the techies, and your expertise on the legal side. And I don't know if it's beneficial, but possibly making video for our library, the basics of evictions in Kentucky,
Okay.
talking about just kind of what you went over, the steps, but also the disclaimer: be careful because it's varies by area, and but here's some of the basics. Do these guys this and this, but then you could always people that may come to you and have questions. You could send them to a 3 to 5 minute video.
Okay.
And then they don't have to call and take it. You don't have to spend a lot of time. And they can, if they need more questions or want to sit down with you for specifics, then they've been prepped and they know the basics. And I know sometimes it can be frustrating repeating the same thing. Oh, no, we don't know.
and you we call the video how to kick house.
So we don't want to pause that. Because sort of just kicking it.
No, just kicking it out of the house.
No, we want to give it some kicker. We have some sympathy because sometimes it's not all the tenant's fault. A lot of times it is, not all the times. I've seen circumstances where
Oh yeah.
there's both parties, crazy landlord or
Just these unforeseen circumstances.